My name is Tony Rod. This is my cultural awareness project for Spanish 102 under Dr. Martin. The last 2 weeks of the semester were under Professor Fulmar. My topic is Argentina and its dirty war. So the Argentinian dirty war was a war that occurred between, not a war, but a military coup that occupied Argentina from 1976 to 1983. The coup that overthrew them was known as the military junta, it ousted President Perón in '76, and it confronted a intensifying leftist insurgency involving kidnappings and killings that went beyond government targets. They were mostly became random targets. Upon taking control of power, the this military junta closed the national legislature. It imposed censorship, banned trade unions, and it brought state and municipal governments under military control. So it consolidated the state as a whole. Now, this military junta was a right-wing coup. This brought a right-wing extreme military government into power. So they were fascist. It was a fascist government. They began a process of national reorganization, and this was instituted to suppress left-wing guerrilla activity, and it included the formation or creation of 300 prisons for detaining suspected political dissidents. Unfortunately, this national reorganization process resulted in the deaths estimated between 10 and 30,000 Argentinians that were suspected of left-wing organization or any sort of left-wing activity. Now, under certain conventions, and most of them actually, this is considered a form of genocide because it was targeted based on a political ideology. So this process of national reorganization was just a fancy term to decide that they were going to just kill every left-wing political anything that they could find. So any person who was affiliated with the socialist left movement at all, counter to the right-wing fascist movement, were being disappeared. They were killed. They were just made disappeared. And these were students, educators, trade unionists, writers, journalists, artists, activists, clergy members, and alleged sympathizers. Initially, Argentinian public supported this crackdown as they saw it as like a necessary evil for restoring order, but this was until the human rights abuses were greatly brought to light in an international scale. And this is mostly due to the mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, who lost children during the Dirty War. And every week, they would hold vigils in the Plaza de Mayo, searching for answers or information on their disappeared children. And this tarnished the government's domestic and international standing to a point where they needed some way to re-establish their legitimacy as a regime. Thus, they attempted to seize the Falkland Islands from Great Britain, and they lost, horrendously. They did not do it well at all. They lost, and it discredited the regime further and led to its ultimate demise in 1983. However, once they fell, Argentina luckily restored its democracy, and it established the National Commission on the Disappearance of Persons in December of 1983, and this would become a decades-long process of bringing the perpetrators of these human rights violations to justice and providing closure for the families who were affected by it. Now, this is different from our culture, and our experience with it from many ways. So McCarthyism was post-World War II as the Iron Curtain was sweeping across Europe. So there was a fear of communism within America. Communism is a left-wing ideal. So the similarity parallel between Argentina and us is very, very close. And there were McCarthyist witch hunts that would tear apart families, pit them against each other, all because of this inherent fear of another that went through all facets of society. The lesson that can be learned is that Argentina is the worst case scenario of what McCarthyism could have been. Now, this all happened in the 70s, and McCarthyism was the 40s and 50s. So this is a long time ago. But what it shows you is that political division at an extreme level can lead to very dangerous and very scary scenarios, even within the U.S. today. So this process occurred at the height of the Cold War, so very geopolitical tensions were high across the entire world. But the ultimate factor here at play was political division. They incited political division among their populations. And often throughout history, things repeat themselves. And that is because the people in charge often do not know the entire history of what their countries or other countries have gone through. So the lesson to be gained, and for the thing to help people misavoid, is when politics and tensions do run high, we need to maintain our humility with one another and understand that we are all trying to make our country a better place. We just have different ideas of doing it. And to avoid these political extremes, because if you go too far down an echo chamber and become too extreme, it can lead to instances such as what happened in Argentina, where one side, it could be the right wing, it could be the left side, it could be the middle, it could be anyone, is prosecuted, purged, and ultimately a genocide is conducted to suppress someone's ideas. And that is what we need to not let happen again in our world. And that is why the Argentinian Dirty War can be used as a great lesson to show the dangers of what political division truly can do. And this is more important and inherent in the U.S. currently due to the state of our politics. Political division is at an all-time high. So the idea that this could happen in the U.S. is, while not feasible, due to our, comparing to Argentina, due to our like robust structural governmental systems, in the public eye, inciting division is at its highest it has been in the recorded history in the United States. And if we keep going down this path and don't check ourselves, we could end up with our dirty war ourselves. Thank you.